I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order and welcome you to the College Station ISD Board of Trustees. Uh, we are elected at large to represent the interests of our community and our state in educating our students. Our mission for our students in this district is success each life, each day, each hour. We adhere to all pertinent laws, policies, and procedures in posting agendas and conducting our meetings. The detailed agenda information was made available to us at least 72 hours in advance. We've all come to this meeting informed and prepared. We have just completed a workshop meeting where we heard reports and discussed much of the information needed to make decisions in either this meeting or in upcoming meetings. This is a meeting of the 7 trustees in a public setting rather than a public meeting. As such, public comment is included on the agenda at a specific time and requires us to listen rather than take action so as to abide by the Open Meetings Act. We're very pleased that you've taken time this evening to join us. We're very proud of this school district, and we thank you for your interest and support of our students. Dr. Ely.
Thank you, Dr. Yokin. We'll begin this evening, as we do all of our board meetings, with pledges of allegiance to the American flag, the Texas flag, and a moment of silence. And you might think about a school system that we don't do anything in the summer or have kids around in the summer, but that's really not true. We've got kids all over the school district. We've got a number of great programs, and one of those programs is a summer day camp. So it's always our pleasure to bring kiddos from summer day camp in to the board meeting in August and have them lead in their pledges, and then we have their artwork on the wall as well. And so we have 4 members of our summer day camp who will be leading us in pledges, and we have their camp supervisors here who are going to introduce our pledge leaders this evening. So would our supervisors please come up?
All right, my name is Kelly Meza, and this is Colton Key. He is a junior camper at Creekview Elementary, and he'll be going into first grade this school year at Forest Ridge.
My name is Joey Tutt. I have with me Stephen Payne. He is a senior camper. He was a senior camper this summer. He's going into 7th grade, which sadly means that he's no longer a camper with us. But he's going to 7th grade at College Station Middle School.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Munoz. I am a supervisor with Summer Day Camp. I have Shelby Humphreys here with me today. She is an incoming 2nd grader at South Knoll, and she's very excited to be here.
My name is Julie Holochek. I was the College Hills Summer Day Camp Senior Camp Supervisor. I have with me Karn Olferson, and he will be in 6th grade at Oakwood.
Please stand up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Please join us for a moment of silence. You may be seated.
Good job, boys and girls. Dr. Yokin, we have no other recognitions.
We'd like to go ahead and, as Dr. Lee pointed out, there's something going on in CSISD year-round, and the artwork that you see displayed in the boardroom today was brought to us by those students that attended summer day camp, and the learning and the talent continues. We're going to move to item D, consent agenda. The items that are on consent agenda are E2, E3, H2, H3, J3, J4, J5, J6, and J7. Does anybody have anything that they would like to pull off a consent?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So the motion carries 6-0. We'll move on to item E1 and look to the board members who perhaps have a board announcement or a report that they'd like to make.
Actually, I think I'm pinch hitting for Mr. Williams, who's unable to join us tonight because he works with the Education Foundation and their board, and I'd like to talk about two things that are important with the Education Foundation. First, we had an anonymous donor want to give to our brand new teachers. These are year zero folks who are coming to College Station ISD who've never taught in the classroom. This anonymous donor had allowed the Education Foundation to award 42 first-year teachers a $50 gift card to Office Depot to help them get their classroom set up. Obviously, it's a big expense for teachers to set up class, especially when it's your very first classroom you've ever had. So we're excited the Education Foundation was able to fund that, and for whoever that was who stepped up and made that contribution to allow us to do that for our 42 year zero teachers who will be joining the district tomorrow as we begin tomorrow. The second thing I want to talk about was, again, from the Education Foundation Board, and just appreciate their work and their honoring of somebody near and dear to us in College Station ISD, Dr. Amy Anderson, who passed away in July. She, as we talked about last month here, her passion was reading. Her passion was also underprivileged kids. And the Education Foundation is moving forward with a program whereby Head Start and pre-K students will get a $10 voucher for their own school fair, book fair, and book fair drives. These donations are made possible through our community giving back. We have some folks who have already pledged some support. We do have opportunities in the back of the room if anybody is interested in also pledging some support to this worthy and noble cause in recognition of a life spent for helping kids. Would encourage folks to do so. So basically it's a $10 voucher for kids who are in Head Start and pre-K to be able to redeem at their local schools in their book drive. And it's nothing like having a book in your hand and being able to read that at home and at school, and just obviously make kids feel even more empowered when they have those types of books available to them. So donation cards are available at the back. You can also support our Education Foundation at any time by going to the World Wide Web and going to givetokids.csisd.org. So just wanted to share those two things for Mr. Williams.
Thank you. Anybody else? Dr. Lee, do you have anything as the superintendent?
So putting on my superintendent hat, yes, we do. It is a busy time in College Station ISD, an exciting time. August is probably my favorite time of the year. It's hot. Don't like that part of it, but it's a time where these halls get awful lonely when our teachers are gone, and especially when our students are gone. So on Friday, we were able to welcome back our new teachers to the district through New Teacher University, and I got to speak with them yesterday morning, and a number of us were able to eat lunch with our new teachers this afternoon at the New Teacher University Luncheon. So excited to welcome around 140 new teachers to College Station ISD. And tomorrow is a very special day because we welcome back all of our teachers and campus support staff as they come back for the very first day of the 2017-2018 school year. And we will begin that day at Central Baptist Church with our Kickoff 2017 rally. And I'm excited for this year. It's a little bit different situation. We will have a keynote speaker, Dr. Adam Sines, who works in public schools, is someone who lives in our community, will be there. And he will be presenting a keynote address, and I'll have a few words to address to our faculty and staff as well. And we will be suitably embarrassed by some of the things that go on, and it's be a lot of fun tomorrow. They'll be at 8 for all the board members. They'll be at 8:30 at Central Baptist Church, and I look forward to y'all being there. It's going to be a great morning. So with that, I would want to reiterate that across the Brazos Valley, schools are starting on all different days of the year. College Station ISD school begins for all students on the fourth Monday, so that is August 28th. We'll be coming back to school and make plans accordingly. So, Dr. Yokin, that is my report.
Thank you. Ms. Horn, do we have any hearing of citizens? Move on to H1 and consider approval of the resolution for College Station ISD to initiate the process as designation as a district of innovation pursuant to Texas Education Code Chapter 12A. Dr. Ely.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. As we discussed in the workshop at 5 this afternoon, the Texas legislature back in 2015, the 84th Texas legislature, passed a bill, House Bill 1842, which allowed local school districts some flexibility to be able to try some innovative practices and do some different things in regards to the Texas Education Code. Now, it doesn't give local school districts the option to get out of things like, say, state-mandated accountability tests or accountability ratings, or things that are important like annual financial audits and those types of fiscal compliance issues that we have to adhere to as a public school system, but does allow some flexibility in other areas. There are about 1,030 school districts in the state of Texas, and 605 of the school districts in the state currently have District of Innovation plans. District of Innovation plans for innovative districts are 5-year plans, and what we talked about at our meeting at 5 o'clock and what we have before you is a resolution seeking your authorization for us to begin a process of discussion on this. The process would take most of the fall semester. It would be a very public process, and whereby a district-wide educational improvement council as a public group that represents teachers, parents, community members, employers would go through the process of making a recommendation to you. There would be a 30-day public comment period. It would be followed by a public hearing to discuss all this. So it would take, as I said, most of the part of this fall semester. What we have before you this evening is a request to approve a resolution to allow us to start that process. Dr. Penny Trammell is our Chief Academic Officer, is here to answer maybe any specific questions that you may have about the process or the timeline. We're fortunate that before Dr. Trammell worked in College Station ISD, she went through this process with her previous school district, so she has experience in exactly what the conversation that we're endeavoring to have with the community right now. So with that, I'd love to answer any questions that you may have.
I would move that we approve the resolution for CSISD to initiate the process of designation as a district of innovation pursuant to Texas Education Code Chapter 12AA.
I'll second that.
There you go.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So the motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Thanks, Penny.
We're going to move on to item J1, consider approval of the school district budget for fiscal year beginning September 1, 2017 and ending August 31st, 2018. Dr. Ely.
Thank you, Dr. Yokin, members of the board. setting a district budget for as large of an organization as College Station ISD is a big task. It involves a number of people. Obviously, it involves Deborah Parks and her business office staff, Mr. Martindale, and the work that he does to organize all this. But it involves every department head and principal and unit that we have in College Station ISD looking at what our needs and what our available resources are and making recommendations for a comprehensive budget. This process takes months. We started back in March with some conversation about some parameters, and then we came with an initial budget in April, and we've been working on this budget at every regularly called meeting until we have gotten here this evening. We have had a conversation at our workshop at 5 o'clock to kind of talk about where we have landed. We had a public hearing at 6:45, and we'll have a recommendation before you to adopt a 2017-18 budget for the to be able to educate the kids of College Station ISD. With more information on what we'll be presenting to you tonight is Mike Martindale. Mike is Deputy Superintendent and CFO. With that, Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Dr. Ely, Dr. Yokin, and board members. Board of Trustees held duly posted public meetings for the purpose of conducting budget workshops related to tonight's proposed budget for the 17-18 school year, beginning, as Dr. Ely mentioned, back in March 21st, April the 18th, May 16th, June 20th, and July 18th, as well as the workshop earlier this evening. During those public workshops, the board reviewed and discussed the budget for the 17-18 year. A duly advertised public hearing to discuss the proposed budget and tax rate also occurred earlier this evening at 6:45. Campus administrators, employee groups, and central office administrators provided input to the budget development process as we have progressed. Work of these groups, combined with our budget workshops held by the Board of Trustees, has led to the budget that is now up for consideration and proposed this evening. It is administration's recommendation that the board approve the proposed 2017-18 budget for CSISD.
Thank you, Mr. Martindale. Any questions?
Given this is the third time we've heard about this tonight alone, no. I move we approve the proposed CSISD budget for the 2017-18 fiscal year as presented.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the proposed 2017-18 budget, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries 6-0. We'll move on to J2, consider approval of ordinance adopting tax rate for the 2017-18 fiscal year. Dr. Ely.
Thank you, Dr. Yokin, members of the board. Now that we have a budget that is approved, we need a tax rate to be able to fund that budget. And with the information regarding the proposed tax rates, Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Dr. Ely. A notice of public meeting to discuss the budget proposed tax rate was published as required by law in the Bryan College Station Eagle on Wednesday, August 2nd. That notice informed the public of our public meeting scheduled for 6:45 earlier this evening to be held to discuss the school district's budget that will determine the tax rate that will be adopted. The rollback rate published in that notice is $1.419702 per $100 in taxable value. The recommended rates for the upcoming year are $1.04 for the purpose of maintenance and operations, and 35.8 cents for the purpose of principal and interest on debt service. The proposed maintenance and operation tax rate of $1.04 combined with other state and local revenue is projected to fund the general fund budget for the 17-18 year. The recommended rate for the principal and interest on debt is projected to adequately fund the district's required debt payments as previously approved by the voters of the district in various bond elections. It is administration's recommendation that the board approve the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a total tax rate of $1.398 for the 2017 tax year, which is an increase of 0.14% to the 2016 rate.
Thank you, Mr. Martindale. Any discussion? Any,
Well
dis-
done.
any discussion? All those in favor of the tax rate as proposed, say aye. Aye. All those against? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much, Mr. Martindale, for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We're going to move on to item L1, where the board will meet in executive session to conduct a closed meeting to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property because the deliberation of an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the district in negotiations with a third party. The executive session deliberations will be held pursuant to the deliberations regarding real property closed meeting exemption to the Texas Open Meetings Act as set forth in Section 551.0742 of the Texas Government Code. Once we have finished that, we will move to L2 and have consideration, discussion, and possible action related to the superintendent evaluation. The executive session's deliberations will be held pursuant to the personnel matters closed meeting exception to the Open Meetings Act as set forth in Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. Once we have finished those two items, we will come back into open session. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. This meeting is adjourned.